After the Second World War, the CIA would be created to coordinate various foreign intelligence activities. Such would vary from the typical to the dangerous and experimental. Such dangerous and experimental endeavors often led to backlash from US regulators, which often shut these experiments down, with many CIA high-ranking individuals often resigning in protest. Of these individuals, a man by the name of Grant O'Neill would create a company, Rosemont Inc. Rosemont presented itself as a health research organization, but covertly it worked in tandem with the CIA as a proxy organization, meant to work without the restraints of governmental management. Today, I will present you with one of Rosemont's most tragic experiments, the town of Dewfield. Dewfield was a town created entirely from the ground up, with every citizen being raised and adopted by Rosemont, with some employees here and there to help guide the experiment. Dewfield was composed of a total of 1,000 people, and it functioned in complete isolation from the rest of the world. The citizens of Dewfield were raised with three main parameters. 1. There is nothing outside of Dewfield. 2. Absolute democracy above everything else. 3. Voting is not negotiable. Dewfield was built to look like a normal suburban town, and supplies were sent to the town covertly and often in a way that made it look like the citizens had made them. The town's economy was basically non-existent, but the Rosemont Corporation saw it valuable that a semblance of an economy was there. Dewfield set to test out a system of complete and absolute democracy while in complete isolation. Every citizen in Dewfield was provided a device at the age of 16, in which they could vote yes or no for any suggested topics by the population. Initially, the Dewfield citizens voted to abolish the various annoying behaviors from their colleagues as they were teenagers. In fact, for years, whistling could lead you to be imprisoned. Later on, more serious policies were approved, such as the creation of a common healthcare system. All of these were enforced by the Rosemont employees. 25 years into the experiment, everything had seemed to be going smoothly, and for Rosemont, they seemed to be conclusive proof of democracy's reliability. This would prove precocious. Near December of the 25th year, a Dewfield subject by the name of Smith Herald would begin campaigning for a thing he labeled heraldism. He argued that the three main parameters of Dewfield were wrongly interpreted, and that they actually implied the exact opposite of what they should be doing. To him, and every citizen, the three parameters were sacred and untouched. So his ideology, which argued against the three parameters and their own existence, was initially seen as sacrilege. This would quickly cause a vote to be arranged by the citizens of Dewfield to arrest Herald, which would quickly be done. Although most citizens of Dewfield had voted for his imprisonment, roughly 200 hadn't, and believed Herald had a right to speech nonetheless. Heraldism would slowly rise as a prominent movement, and soon Herald's release would be voted for, and this time the majority would allow him to leave. Herald began to spread the movement further, arguing that his interpretation should be absolute and final. By the 27th year, Herald would be voted for a role he himself would suggest and create, the arbiter of the three. He would create a framework in which he detailed every power he would obtain, and would, for all intents and purposes, become the dictator of Dewfield. Ultimately, Rosemont's plan had failed. Although the democratic system they lived on had been ingrained upon the town from the moment of inception, it was easily subverted by a charismatic leader. By the 30th year, Rosemont would be forced to let the town go by the government, and eventually they were connected back to normal society through a costly plan of integration.